So, for anyone in the cybersecurity space, there's some big news making the rounds. Fortinet is making a major change to its highly respected Network Security Expert Program, or NSE. And what's interesting is it feels a bit like they're going back to the future.
It really does. They're bringing back the classic NSE 1 through 8 leveling system, which a lot of veterans in the field will immediately recognize. This whole overhaul is set to go live on October 15th, 2025, and it's more than just a name change. They're redesigning the certification paths to better align with modern cybersecurity roles and technologies.
You mentioned it's a response to industry changes. What kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, it's a clear signal that Fortinet is actively keeping pace with the explosion in cloud, AI, and IoT security. By bringing back that simple 1 to 8 structure, they're creating a much more intuitive skill ladder for professionals to climb. It just makes more sense.
I see. And one thing that stood out to me in the announcement was this emphasis on cross-solution learning. They're talking about integrating skills across different products like FortiGate, FortiManager, and FortiEDR. In a rapidly changing IT environment, what does that kind of all-in-one skill validation really mean for a security professional?
That's the key right there. It directly solves a massive real-world headache. In the past, you might get certified on a single product, but your daily job requires you to manage a dozen different interconnected tools. What Fortinet is doing is directly training and validating the kind of talent that can handle complex multi-layered defense systems. It's about building practical experts, not just product specialists. And that's critical for companies trying to build a truly solid security posture.
Right, so it's less about knowing one tool perfectly and more about orchestrating the whole security symphony. That makes sense. So for people who already have Fortinet certs, or those thinking about getting one, what does this change actually mean for them?
Well, the why behind this update is pretty clear. Fortinet laid out 4 main drivers. First, keeping up with tech, like we just discussed. Second, supporting a wider range of career roles, from a junior analyst all the way to a senior architect. Third is encouraging that cross-solution expertise. And finally, and I think this is really important, they're explicitly adopting feedback from the NSE community to provide a simpler, more recognizable framework.
That last point about community feedback is interesting. It's not something you always see from big tech companies.
Exactly. It shows they're actually listening to the people who use their products and hold their certifications. When you feel heard, it builds a lot of goodwill and boosts the perceived value of the entire certification ecosystem. It's a smart move.
Okay, so knowing the reasons behind it helps. Let's get into the direct impact on individuals and companies. What happens now?
The implications are pretty widespread. For people who are already certified, the good news is their digital badges will automatically update to the new NSE 1 to 8 levels. No extra exams needed. The potential downside is that the look and feel of their credentials will change, which might require a little adjustment in how they present themselves on a resume or LinkedIn. For new candidates, they have a choice to make before October 15th. Certify under the current system or wait for the new one. And for employers and training centers, they've got some work to do, updating their materials and hiring criteria to match the new structure.
So for those existing certified pros, the automatic update is a huge relief. It lowers the friction quite a bit.
It does, but the new cross-solution exam content will present a new learning curve for them when it's time to recertify. It's not a free pass forever.
You mentioned that all parties should probably act soon. From a career development standpoint, why is acting now, before the October 2025 deadline, potentially better than just waiting for the new framework to roll out?
I think there are 2 big advantages. First, by locking in your certification under the current framework, you secure a credential that is stable and widely recognized through the transition period. Second, and this is crucial, you avoid the last-minute rush. As that deadline gets closer, exam slots and training resources are going to get squeezed. By preparing now, you can move at your own pace, plus your new certification will get automatically upgraded anyway. You're essentially using this time gap to maximize your certification's value and your own efficiency.
That's a very practical piece of advice. It's like buying your concert tickets before they sell out. So, as people get ready for these exams, either now or after the update, what kind of tools can help them pass more efficiently?
This is where preparation tools become really valuable. For instance, services like Spoto offer verified exam dumps. Essentially, these are collections of real questions from past exams. They let you practice in a simulated test environment and are updated quickly to match the latest exam syllabus.
Okay, so using something like that can give you a real feel for the test.
It's all about efficiency. The quick update feature is especially critical during a major certification overhaul like this. It helps you focus your study time on the topics and question formats that are most likely to appear, which can significantly reduce study time and exam anxiety. It's a way to work smarter, not just harder.
That definitely sounds like a valuable resource for anyone facing these exams. So, to wrap this all up, what are the absolute key takeaways our listeners should walk away with regarding this Fortinet NSE update?
Okay, if you remember anything, remember this. First, the big update is happening October 15th, 2025, and the classic NSE 1-to-8 structure is back. Second, this change is driven by real-world needs like cloud and AI security, and Fortinet is listening to its community. Third, if you're already certified, your badge will update automatically. But if you're a new candidate, you have a strategic decision to make. Fourth, and this is my main advice, act before the deadline to avoid the rush and maximize your value. And finally, use updated prep tools like those from Spoto to study efficiently and boost your chances of passing on the first try. This whole update really marks a new chapter for cybersecurity skills.